Let me see. We are live. Welcome to another live broadcast. Now, it is a privilege and an honor to be here with you this evening. Your breakthrough coach, Santos Rolon Jr., Stockton, California, the world's #1 problem gambling annihilator. This is a live Sunday edition of Solutions and Answers. Let me see. Live Solutions and Answers. How about live answers and solutions? And we are working on bringing Jim on board. So I do want to thank you for this, let me see, special edition of Sunday Night Alive. Sunday Solutions. Hey, Jim, I don't know. Did we get you on speaker? We got started here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. All right, man. We are cooking with, let me see, what are we cooking with? We're cooking with some good utensils and some natural oils. That's healthy for you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jim from Tucson, Arizona, with us tonight on the broadcast. I'm excited to be here for the next 30 minutes or so. Please, we need questions. Friends, family members, soldiers. By the way, if you're new to the broadcast, please soldier scribe. And by way of Tucson, Arizona, I'm going to let Jim share a little bit. Umoto motorbikes. Let's introduce him. And I'm going to give you the floor here so you can share a little bit. But before we do, actually, I'm going to wait on the proverb. But what is the focus? What is the topic of this program? Actually, what is the topic of every program that we come to like this? Solutions and answers. The topic is always going to be focus. It really is. It's always going to be focus, but we'll just go from there. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys that are here joining us tonight. And Jim is going to share. Jim is an expert when it comes to transformation, right, Jim?
Well, I don't know. I guess. I don't know. It might be slow, but, hey, I'm still here. I think everyone, if they're going to be surviving and thriving in this life, has to change and adapt, right? If you don't change, you're going to go ahead and die, right? You're going to just wither away. So, yeah, to some extent, yeah, I guess you can say in my own mind, I am an expert for myself at change.
And there we go. There we go. You hit the nail on the head. You're an expert for yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I learned that from you. You said that, you're the smartest guy that you know, right? I remember you said that in one episode, and that made a lot of sense. That's a positive message. And I think we have to be focused, like you said, on being positive. Hey, we have to, accept that I guess the situation can be challenging. Yeah. However, you can find good in anything and everything, really. There is always good if you look for it.
We're going to dig into this a little bit more. I just want to welcome those that are here. And Nick, by way of Chicago, big shout out to Nick. Thank you for being here. He's got a question for you, Jim. So we're going to put that up there, and we're going to let Jim share a little bit here on that. But I just want to acknowledge those of you that are here. So Jim, you get to take the first question, and we're going to let you share a little bit. So just relax, man. We're going to have a good time here for a little bit, and who knows, maybe we'll grow. Wouldn't that be cool if we grew during this episode magically? Hey, use your imagination. You know what I mean? But we'll go for it. My cool one, Paul, welcome to the broadcast. And there's a few other people there's Angel. And those of you, wherever you are, you got a question, let me know where you're from. And we're going to be challenging Jim a little bit, myself. I'm sure Jim will appreciate that a little bit, not too much, but so Jim, you got a question there. Ask Jim, what is his ideas on how he deals with breakthroughs? Does he celebrate breakthroughs?
I think celebrating breakthroughs is important. I think I need to work on that. I have a challenge on celebrating stuff. Um, I'm not quite sure why. It's a good question. It's always good to do some introspection and think about why how we tick. I mean, breakthroughs. I think I've been working on little by little making positive changes in my life in the way I feel about myself, um, and how I think. Um, I think it's important to be able to know where you're coming from. Um, for me, I think I'm a very emotional kind of person. Um, and in the last episode, I texted that I would have these chemical feelings. It's like it could be anxiety. You actually feel, kind of bad in certain situations, and I think it's something about fear. Not being comfortable, maybe in social situations, not feeling like I belonged. Being Japanese descent, growing up, in a place where most people weren't like me, and I felt pretty uncomfortable, not fitting in. I thought about, I guess, my own like limitations, like mentally, maybe, not measuring up as good as I could, that weighed on my consciousness. And it gave me a lot of doubt, and made me feel bad. All this anxiety and fear and trying to be in a safe place. Um, I think that affected me the rest of my years growing up. Um, trying to be in the comfort zone, trying to fit in, um, trying to do things that would be approved of. Always worrying about what other people thought. You know, it's like I got to fit in, got to fit in. Because oh my gosh, what would happen if I didn't fit in? And this anxiety would go through my system, and it would turn to kind of like anger. It manifests. I can either cry or I can go ahead and like get angry. And I thought, well, it's probably be more manly to get angry, and frustrated and scream out. It looks like you're tough or whatever. But I kind of noticed that anger building up, in my 20s and like 30s, and I said, something's wrong here, and that caused me to kind of think, where is this anger coming from? It's like in the last episode, I said, we need to ask the question behind the question. The answers are several layers deep. We got to ask, why do I do this? Why do I feel this way? Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
And you have to be honest with yourself, really honest. Because sometimes, looking at yourself in the mirror is not very pleasant. Sometimes you don't like what you see, and a lot of people just hide away from that. But if you can have
Yeah.
like that courage to you know ask those questions and be honest with yourself, you can start the process of change. And it's like when you find that you can get better, you start looking for the answers, right? Books, videos, like you done.
Yeah. It's that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. You were saying you were mentioning something, and it kind of stirred me up with a thought about anger. There's times we have to become creative. We have to use our resources, right? I'm always talking about mind, mouth, power. And by now, most of you that follow me on at Soldiers of Self Mastery, you know that I talk about MMPC. And MMPC is just a short for, can we say a word? It's really short for this philosophy that we're talking about here. What you shared also has a combination of mind, mouth, power in it. Sometimes we're using it in the wrong way. Instead of using our mind, mouth, power in the correct fashion, we're using it in the wrong way. And, we get the wrong results. But I was thinking about sometimes, I'll do crazy stuff to get myself out of a certain state. I'll drive down my car. I'll drive down the street, and I've done this numerous times. It actually feels real good. If I'm bothered or I'm angry about something or just something, I'll drive down. I got a glass top. I'll roll the top. I'll roll my windows down, and I'll drive down at 45, 50 miles an hour, and I will yell at the top of my lungs. And I'm going down just a 2-lane road, so I know people can hear me yelling from my car. And I'll do it a couple of times. And man, that feels so great. That's just my way of releasing some anger, I guess, maybe. But you think, well, that seems like a kind of like a little game or something. Well, it makes me feel good, man, when I do that. I'm sure people are wondering, what the heck? You're driving by and somebody's they probably think somebody's getting killed in a car, going down the road. But it helps, So I don't know if that makes sense. We're getting some feedback here, Jim. So, Jim, it looks like you started thinking about these things early on. Is that what you were saying early on, or do you?
Well, not. It's like I didn't really think too much about my emotions and the comfort zone, and the safety zone. Um, but I did notice that I was getting angrier, and that didn't seem right.
Yeah.
And I questioned that. Um, I worked on personal development. I believe I started reading books on that.
Name a book.
Well, one of the books was it Brian Tracy. That was one of the first books
Okay.
I started reading. Yeah, I forget the name of the book, but it was by Brian Tracy. There's other books like Zig Ziglar, all those, well-known, Jim Rohn. However, I think, what really got, what really made me kind of figure myself out a little bit was my emotions, how I felt, and how it's connected to thinking, because we all have a choice of thought, right?
So
We
you
can.
said you figured yourself out that way. You figured yourself out by taking time out to think and feel and listen.
That's right. Trying to trying to figure out. Okay, so I have these feelings coming through me. It's like, why do I have these feelings coming through me, and are they really relevant? Are they really reflective of my situation? And I thought, no, it's probably not. But it seems like my mind kind of manifested more of the anxiety. Almost seemed like I was more comfortable feeling that anxiety, you know, um, and it maybe just pushed me towards more of a comfort zone, place where I didn't have to put myself in a position to maybe be more social or take risks. Um, so I think the connection between feeling your emotions, uh, what's going through your system, is really, really going to affect how you think and what you do. If you can, I feel that if you can really control your emotions, the way you feel, that physical feeling that you get, that can have a major effect on. And I think that's why some people turn to drugs, maybe, to escape those feelings, like alcohol. So if you're addicted to alcohol, maybe that's something that people try to get away from, that anxiety. My friend's father went through that. He was an alcoholic.
And that's why people gamble too.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember listening to Dave Ramsey, and he was questioning a gambler. He was losing a lot of money at the casino, and Dave Ramsey asked, "Are you lonely?" You know. So sometimes I think that, like, gambling or alcoholism or anger, these things are just like a symptom of something deeper, right? So I think it's really, really important for us to look and kind of study ourselves find out more about ourselves. What makes us tick? Because these kinds of things are kind of symptoms, I believe. If you're addicted to gambling, why are you addicted to gambling? What's going on in your life that's causing you to be in this situation? Maybe you want to escape. Why do you want to escape? Well, maybe I'm in an abusive relationship. Why am I in an abusive relationship? Well, I don't. I wonder why I'm in an abusive relationship. What do I do? How do I see myself? What's going on? So a lot of these kinds of things, these bad things that are happening to us, I think we can't take care of the problem by just knocking out the superficial stuff. We got to really dig deep and really learn about ourselves and attack our problems from the core. We got to really understand ourselves.
Yeah.
We got to, and it takes time. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And that's why, always asking yourself questions. One of the things you got to do is just kind of decide, it's like, I don't want to live my life like this anymore. I want to change. And I think change, they say change comes from within. Learn as much as about yourself as possible. Then you can kind of figure out why you do the things you do. Why do you feel the way you feel?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we're going to look at this a little bit more. We're going to look at this. Now, I want to read a psalm real quick, a proverb, and I want to dig into this a little bit more that you just talked about. And you talked about it's a really cool thing that you, and I don't know if you've heard it this way, but what you're talking about is going on an inner journey, something that I never did before. It's a marvelous. In fact, what triggered my inner journey was gambling, because I hit rock bottom. So that triggered my inner journey. And a lot of people are missing out. We're going to get into this here in a minute. I want to talk about this. Problem gamblers are missing out on something called the inner journey. And I believe that you're talking about it. You're talking about it. So we'll get into this. But let me get into the psalm real quick here. It says, this is Psalm 27. This is the proverb for Sunday. I got to read a proverb every Sunday. I'm a little late now with this, but it says, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. That tells me to be patient big time at the maximum level. That proverb tells me to be patient at the maximum level. And it also tells me that I can. It's very encouraging. So this inner journey that we're talking about here, Jim, about asking questions and knowing. So the problem gambler is stuck in a rut. The problem gambler is deep. He's in deep. We talked about asking, you shared about asking questions that's helped you. But I got this thing like an inner journey. Can we look at it that way? You're looking, of course, we can. I want you to talk a little bit more about this inner journey, though. How would it help? How would this inner journey help a problem gambler?
I think a problem gambler, the gambling, if you take it from this perspective, the problems that are coming from the gambling could be the best thing, to the person, because it could be an awakening. It's like something's not right. Something's not right. So, I mean, if something's not right, you have to decide, am I important enough to start looking and searching for something better? I mean, I think that's a decision that someone that people need to make. And I think it's hard. I think, when you're in that position, the problem gambler, person who's addicted to something, it's like there's a lot of hopelessness. I think, I believe, really low. And how do you find hope? How can you find that hope that will allow you to, kind of get back up on your feet and start moving in another direction? And I think it's like if they watch your program, Santos, that's hope right there. I really see it because you turned your life around. And I think a lot of people, you know, listen to your testimony, they hear what you went through, you know, the lowest of low situations, but you were able to turn it around, you know. It's like, wow, doing great, and if you can do it, we can do it, right? It's possible. It's possible, you see. So that's something right there, It's like, is there hope for a better life? And then you start asking those questions, right? That inner journey is that asking those questions. What's going on in my life? Why is this happening to me? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? What's happening in my life? Let me stop and kind of think about what's going on. Let me even think about my thoughts. What's going through my mind? What in certain circumstances? I don't think many people really think about their thinking. What's going through their mind, their emotions. It seems like a lot of people are reactive. You know, I'm sure I was like that too. You know, but if you can practice at just being a little bit more reflective, thinking about what's going on. You just responded in a certain way. Or I just responded in a certain way. Why did I do that? Where did that come from? You know, and
Yeah.
if you start practicing that consciousness, right? That's a good word. Being conscious about yourself, right? A lot of questions will be answered. Like a lot of, I think, doors will be opened for you to find your way in that inner journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we talked about questions last time, asking questions. Asking questions opens the doors for opportunities, right? Opportunities are all around us, right? We just have to ask those right questions.
That's part of the equation. That's a major part of the equation, is asking the right questions. You got to ask questions to get to the better ones. Isn't that like, it's like digging a pit. You got to break the ground to get more earth out. So you start out with one question. Eventually you can become a very good, people make a lot of money asking questions. There's people out there that sit around and just ask questions and get paid. They get a lot of money too. Some of them do.
Mm-hmm.
We know them as psychiatrists.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All they do is mainly ask questions. But what happens? What if you decide what you've been using? I've been hearing the word decision in your sharing. You've mentioned the word decision a couple times there, Jim.
Right.
What if you make a decision and you decide to look inside yourself, right? And inside yourself, there's gold, right? There's diamonds inside yourself, figuratively speaking. Because if you go on a journey, right? If you go on a journey, there's going to be exploration. There's going to be experiences. You'll meet people, right? That's what a journey is all about. But we're talking about a journey within, and it's amazing because most people are actually finding coal in their life, right? Most people are finding coal. What does coal signify? A black rock, darkness, maybe depression or problems with gambling, right? And instead we could go inside ourselves, as Jim, and of course I mentioned this too, and we can look for gold. What is your gold? What is the gold inside you that you haven't found yet? But yet you're looking for gold in the casino, or you're looking for gold in the drink, or in something else.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think a couple things. I think people, I don't think they give themselves enough credit, and I think they feel bad about themselves a lot. They feel worthless, maybe low self-esteem. It's like there is no gold inside of me. There is nothing. Why should I even try? I only have good feelings. The only good feelings that I can find is at the bottom of the bottle, right? or in a slot machine or at a blackjack table, right? Those are the only kind of good feelings, the gold, right? When there could be there is something better. There is better. And that's one thing that I think listening and reading to people who have gone through bad times and were able to pull themselves out of it, they can realize that they do have the gold inside them. They just need to start digging, Starts with those questions. It starts with the searching, where is that gold? The gold is, it's like the map is like your show, right? The map is in the books that we read. The maps are in the videos, right? And
Yeah.
all those things, those resources can help us and find our way, right? It's like there is stuff. There is good stuff within us. There's good stuff.
Yeah.
And and once you start digging, and you find it, it's like, oh my gosh, there is some good. I want more, right? And that
Yeah.
that just kind of like starts a cascade of just a snowball effect. I was like, okay, here we go. It's like I found some success within me.
Yeah.
I want more. And that's just going to keep you pushing further and forward.
It kind of gives you the idea of, the person that's grabbing for something better than what they, it's like gambling. Gambling is one thing that people grab for, we grab for it, but there's something bigger and better that we could be grabbing for instead. But if we don't believe, if we don't, and again, you mentioned this numerous times, the decision, right? It's always a decision. You got to decide. You got to decide, but then you got to honor your decision. If you don't honor your decision, you're not going to have a successful journey. You're not going to ask the right questions. You have to be, in other words, you have to really, really want something. You have to really want something. This won't work if you don't, if you're comfortable where you're at and you can handle a little bit of pain, you're going to stay there. Mm-hmm. But if you're not, if you don't want to be there and you want out, I want out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like the place is on fire, man. You're not going to hang around if the place is burning. You get too close to the heat, and you might suffocate from the smoke. You got to get away. You got to get away from that fire, man. And, this is interesting because I find, in my own life, it's like I find things, man. I do something called 15-minute mornings, breakfast of champions. I use it as a hashtag 15-minute mornings, breakfast of champions. What is that? Well, every morning I get up and I go find a place that's dark, before the light, usually before the sun comes out, the natural sun, I'm talking about outside. And I close my eyes and I drift off into a world of imagination. I don't talk. I mean, I'm sharing a little bit more about this because I'm becoming more open about it. This isn't something that I used to do. I mean, I read, I do a lot of videos, but I'm starting to get more into this visual. Why? Because it takes me deeper into my inner journey. I don't know if Jim, if you can relate to that, just closing your eyes and just, maybe having a little bit of some, I call white noise. You could have a little bit of rain sounds in the background or fan playing. You want quiet and you want no light, because when your eyes are closed and there's no light, your senses become more concentrated within you. You're not focused on things outside of yourself. So you can really zone in. And it's amazing. But honestly, I'm experiencing things today that they puzzle my mind sometimes, because I never thought that I would ever find diamonds or find gold or silver. I was always finding coal. For me, it was coal. It was a lot of coal, a lot of black coal. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Yeah, I've been listening to John Maxwell, an author of leadership,
John,
and
yeah.
John Maxwell. Yeah, and
I
he
met
said,
him in person.
"Did you? That's great.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, great
Yeah.
speaker." And he talked about, he talked about living in the land of possibility, right? And if you don't live in the land of possibility, you really, really limit yourself. So one, you have to think
Yeah.
that, all things are possible, right? All things are possible for you. Um, I think it's also important that you have to decide that, you are worth it. You are worth the struggle. You're worth, the work to get better. Um, I think a lot of times people, unfortunately, look at like someone like you, successful, and they can either go down two roads. They can choose the path of, oh, it's like I can never be like him. He had advantages. I can't do that. Or you can say, you know what, he did it. If he can do it, I can do it. Possibility, right?
Yep.
And I think that's where your self-talk, the mind mouth power, those affirmations saying that, I can do it. I can do it. You gotta kind of brainwash or hypnotize yourself, like you said before,
Yep.
and say
Exactly.
that it is possible for me to get better. I can
Yeah.
get better every day. I can get better.
Yeah.
I choose to get better. I'm getting better every day. You
Yeah.
just, that's like the decision, that's the path that you choose to take, right? That's the wonderful thing, like, in discovery of change. We all have choices, and we have the choice of thought.
Yeah.
That one guy
Exactly.
over in the concentration camps, was it Germany?
Yeah.
A movie was made out of him. It's like in the worst conditions, he was able to find, beauty in life, even in one of those
Yeah.
concentration camps, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he had, but see that they couldn't take away his choice of thought. You see, and we all have that choice of thought. We can choose, a path to go in thought. And that's powerful. That's really
You
powerful.
know, I was just thinking about something, Jim, that you just said. North Korea. North Korea. We're talking about transformation. We're talking about change. I don't know if they gamble in North Korea. I don't think they do. Out of all the countries in the world that I know of, I mean, there's many of them, but to me, North Korea stands out. And why am I saying this? Is because they brainwash their people. Literally, they brainwash their people there. They train them from children. And I don't know if I've watched several documentaries of how they do this. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's pretty amazing and it's very, very effective. Because once you make people logical, they're no longer emotional thinkers. You can control people like robots. And sadly, that's what's happening today to a lot of people.
Hmm. That's right. It's just we're being hypnotized quite a bit,
Yeah.
in school, the media, social situations. We're controlled by, what the group thinks is good. You know, if you're short, you're not worth anything, right? If you're tall, oh yes, you're worth a lot. Yeah, you're powerful, respectable. You see, and that kind of stuff. If you're this color, nah, you're poor. If you're this color,
Yeah.
no, you're successful. You should be treated very well. And that's the kind of stereotypical brainwashing kind of stuff that a lot of people just unfortunately fall into. And
Yeah.
we have to wake up, right? We all
Yeah.
have to just wake up and say, you know what? I don't have to believe what's out there. I can believe in myself. I can believe. I don't care what anyone else thinks. You know, I don't care what happened in my past life.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
I
That's how you
believe.
have to be.
Yeah, I can
It
choose.
almost sounds selfish. It almost sounds cold,
Hmm.
but you have to preserve yourself before you can even help anybody else.
That's where it all starts. You gotta love yourself. You gotta take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, really, you can't take care of anyone else. So it is a very, very helpful thing to the world that you take care of yourself in the best way possible, so that you can help others. Was it Jim Rohn said, I'll take care of me for you if you can take care of you for me, right? So
that was Jim. Yeah, and we're going to get back to this thought here. Let me just let me see if I can pay some bills here. Just pay some bills. No, I just want to share with those of you that are interested. The book is the new book is out. It makes a great gift. I'm going to encourage you to get one. I'm going to encourage you to share one. Why? Help change somebody's mindset towards the more positive. And this doesn't have to just be given to a problem gambler. This book can help. I believe it can help anybody that's willing to use it and look into it. So we got the book, Soldiers of Self-Mastery, if we support you, please support the mission. I'm going to ask you to do that, support the mission. And also, but only support the mission if we're helping you. Okay? If we're not helping you, don't support this mission. Join the family. You get a couple emails from me weekly. I believe they're encouraging emails and videos, different things. So it's right there on the screen. Join us, join the family, be a member, stay in touch. You got issues, you got problems. Hey, you've got somebody that you can connect with. And Jim's talking about this, and I'm very humbled, but I'm very, very grateful for what I can do. And I believe that I can help a lot of people. I honestly believe that in many different ways I can help a lot of people. But if the people aren't willing to take advantage of what's presented, then I can't help anybody. So that was that. That's out of the way. I'm just wondering how many of you guys that are here will dig for gold. I'm wondering how many of you that are here will dig for diamonds after this broadcast. You'll begin digging for something good. I know I'm going to. I'm going to keep digging. In fact, I can't wait to get back tomorrow morning to get back into that dark room to use my imagination, man. It's like I get lost, man. And it's just amazing. The more that you train your mind, it's like a muscle. It is. It's actually like a bicep. The more you train it, the stronger it will get. And I'm telling you, when your mind begins to get really strong and kick in, you're going to be amazed. You will be amazed at what begins to happen for you and around you too. You'll think, wow, it seems like everybody's changing. No, it's you that's changing. Anyway, so much for that. Jim, let me see. I got a question here. Jim says what does he say? Jim says, great to see Mr. Umoto. A long ride around a lake on a motorized bicycle sounds like a good stress reliever. There you go. That's exercise. Jim can talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah. I think about motorized bicycles. I think it's kind of like a reflection of life. When you're dealing with a motorized bicycle, you can see yourself riding around the lake with the wind in your hair, feeling that freedom, not having to pedal, just going down the road at a nice speed. You envision that. It's like I remember when I put my first bike together. It took me a while. Things didn't work out. Things would break. Things didn't fit. Man, you could hear me screaming probably a mile away, because things didn't go right. But I didn't give up. I didn't give up. I took a break. I sought help, information, right? Well, this didn't work. What can I do? How can I get this thing to fit? How can I get it to start? Okay, well, let me go and look at this. And then finally, it's together and you're on your way. And
Yeah.
that kind of zen of motorized bicycles kind of reflects life, I really think, because it's like, in order to get to that freedom, you know, you gotta go through the obstacles. You gotta, you know, not be afraid to tackle. A lot of people are afraid, oh, I can't put that together. Oh no, I can't, you know. But man, can you imagine the freedom that you're having? You know, hey, that guy put it together. You know, oh wow, he put it together. He wasn't a mechanic. Maybe I can. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. Well, I'm going to try. I'm going to decide to try. I'm going to decide. I'm going to get organized. I'm going to make a plan, Santos. I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to figure out what tools I need. You know, I need to get all the instructions. What videos do I need to watch? Okay. All right. And then, you know, step by step, doesn't happen all at once, right?
Yeah.
But, you
Step by
know,
step. That's right.
if you're persistent at it, boom, you know, wow.
So, yeah. So there's a good stress reliever. And by the way, listen, I would encourage anyone that's into bikes and riding and health. That's going to help you with your problem gambling. That's that's a given. If you throw some exercise into your daily physical routine, your regimen, that's going to help you. Why? Because of the release of I believe is oxytocin or dopamine. The release of that in your body, that chemical, is going to help you reestablish new habits. So that's what you want. You want more dopamine. You want that release, right? No cortisol. Cortisol makes you sick. It does damage. And that's cortisol is what you're getting from gambling stress and addiction and problems and a lack of not looking inside yourself. You're actually shooting cortisol in your body, and that's what makes you sick. That's what it messes you up. That's what messes you up. Yes, Laura, I would venture to say that the book will help any individual that has addiction problems or a difficulty focusing up here. I believe everybody reads the book is going to get something differently. You see, when I read this book, I get stuff differently from it all the time. And that's why I say don't read the book, use it. If you use the book, you're going to notice. If you use the book, you're going to notice that every time that you go to it and read something, you're going to get different things out of it. If you read it, you're going to read it once, you got maybe some lame thought, possibly, and it's done and over with. Now it becomes shelf help. Like Jim Quick said, it's not a self-help book anymore. It's a shelf help. You don't want that. So you got to use the book. You got to get in any tool that you use. Videos, I've watched the same videos over and over. You just got to be hungry. You got to have that hunger. How do you get that hunger? You have to start eating. Yeah, I guess, would that make sense? You start eating to eat more, because it is true. The more that you eat, the hungrier you will become.
Kind of like a shark.
The more meals that you eat, the more you're going to eat. Yeah, you'll begin to get a trend going. If that makes sense to maybe as an analogy there. But wow, it's been a good episode. I know we've gone over 30 minutes already. But we do have, let me see, we do have any questions for Jim? Any questions for myself here? Jim, Nimsy Lot, hey, welcome to the program. Laura, welcome. I see we got a few other people that have joined in. But Jim, where in UK are you from? Are you from the UK, Jim?
Jim West.
Or is it, oh, okay. I thought they were asking Jim the question. No, I apologize. So you were sharing now, you were going to share a little bit more about we talked about the exercise. I believe exercise is good. Even if it's 5 or 10 minutes of doing something repetitively.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, like, I got off the exercise routine because I got my leg got injured. I'm better now. It's hard to start sometimes. But once you start, it's hard to stop, actually, because when I started, it was tough. It's like, I got to get up, hit the road, lace up those tennis shoes, and just go after it. And once you get going, it's fine. And then the next day comes, it's a lot easier, and you want to keep doing it. It's like you feel bad if you don't do it. So, yeah, I think if you start a habit, who said it was the scariest moment? I think it was Stephen King saying that, the scariest moments in life is just before you start, something like that. And a lot of people are probably apprehensive about doing things, change, serious change in their life. Yeah, but once you start it, if you can just overcome that initial inertia, right? It's a lot easier to keep that ball rolling, and it
That's
just takes a little decision,
yeah. It's like remember the story of the little train that could. It was going up the hill. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And then when it got to the top, I think it said, "I knew I could. I knew I could. I knew I could."
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting over that. It's really the decision.
That's
That's
a
the key.
victory. I remember Maxwell Maltz says, you can find victories in your life, before, and anything right there. And if you accomplish the littlest thing, that counts for something right there.
Yeah. And starting, what is it? Starting is, they say that starting, is it the most important step? But I'm not sure. I'm getting distracted here, but I wanted to say this because you talked about, the air, you talked about writing, we talked about doing exercises, and you have to be present. You have to work on being present. Like right here, I'm present. I'm all here. There's nothing else that I'm really focused on except this, and that's it, and taking some notes. So I'm present. Imagine if you were like that in all these things that you're doing in life, right? You're present. You're there. Oh, we lost Jim. Did we lose Jim? Yeah, we lost Jim. Maybe he'll come back on. Anyways, that was good. But Jim's not present right now. That's a perfect example of being present at the present. And anyways, yes, to answer, it started off as a business. He is a business owner there in the Tucson, Arizona area. So hopefully he'll come back on. But let me see if I can put up, if you want to check out his oh, he's coming back. I'm putting on the
I'm
website.
not quite sure what happened.
Hey, Jim, can you type your website in here? I want to just put it out there just in case somebody wants to get a bike or they want to buy a gift for a child or something like that, or somebody. And you can put it out there. And
I got shop.umotobikes.com, and I also have gorillagasbike.com. So there's 2 places where you can go.
okay, let me see. Put that. Did you type that in there? Did you type?
I just
If you want to just type that in there. So, and we're going to be wrapping things up unless we get a couple more questions here tonight here. But I want to I wanted to give Jim a little bit more. I know he's sharing, and we've had some good points here, man, talking about change. Really, this has been a great episode for anyone that's interested in wanting to change and wanting to learn about change. But there's a lot more. Obviously, this is a life journey. Change is a life journey. Transformation is a life journey. Escaping addiction, getting away from gambling is a life journey. It's not a one-time deal. It's not something that I need to work on. No, it's actually a life journey is what you need to get into if you want to get away from, because you're on a journey already. If you're hooked on gambling and you're going down the wrong, you're on a journey. So you gotta it's like you gotta use your willpower. You gotta what can you use? I call it the grace of the Almighty that gives us the ability to change. That's what I call it. Because sometimes I don't understand why things, the way they are. I mean, I hit rock bottom. I lost everything, just about everything, except for maybe I had a little bit of dignity left, a little bit. How was I able to turn it all around? It's very mysterious, but it is a decision. There's hunger there. And, of course, if I didn't make a decision and if I wasn't hungry to change, I would have hit rock bottom, and who knows what would have happened. I don't know. Wouldn't be here probably.
Like just I think all the listeners need to take heart that of the point that you brought up. The gold is inside you. The gold is inside you. You don't have to worry about if there's gold, if there's greatness, because the greatness is inside you. You just need to start reaching for it. Start the path towards it. You get it little by little, and the interesting thing is it's infinite. If you believe that, I mean, there's an infinite amount of gold within you, greatness within you, and as much as you want, you can go after it. You just have to kind of make a choice and start, telling yourself, I'm worth it. I'm going to go for it. I can do it.
I'm going to go for it. I can do it.
You got to say it to yourself over and over again,
Yep.
Listen to positive people.
I'm going for it. So tomorrow morning, that's exactly one of the things that I'm going to do. I'm going for it. I'm going to tell myself, I'm going to remind myself, I'm going for it. I'm going to do it. So, every little bit counts. Every little bit helps. We're coming down to the end of the wire here. We're going to hang out for a little bit. If Jim wants to stay with us a little bit longer, we will. If we get a question or two, I want to let you guys know. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being on this broadcast. I truly appreciate every one of you guys. I'm sure Jim does too. We're going to be back here on Wednesday, providing that we get some joinees. Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here. Bring a pen, a blue pen, and a white piece of paper. A blue pen and a white piece of paper. So you can take some notes. And again, join the family. The book, obviously, the book makes a great gift. I believe it'll help anybody that's willing to look at it and dig inside. And of course, we're going to be having more. I'm going to look and see if I can invite more people. Those of you that have overcome, those of you that are doing very well in life, those of you that want to share with other people and share your little story. You don't have to be perfect. Okay. You don't have to be perfect. And another thing, like they say, you don't clean up to get in the shower, do you? Right? You don't clean up to take a bath, like they say. So to get in there, to get started, you don't have to be perfect. You just got to get started in order. I think it is. You got to get started in order to become greater or become better. You got to get started. So I'm inviting those of you that are willing, you're open. That's going to help you too. Okay. Yeah, I'm challenging you, but it's going to help you make a change, because when you share, it has a way of it's like a recycle system. It comes back even greater. You give out, it comes back even greater. So I've been blessed tonight to have Jim, to have his privilege here, his personality and his thoughts. And we're all strange in some way. I know I am too. I'm sure Jim thinks of himself as a strange individual.
Oh, yeah.
but we're all here. We're all here. So, Jim, share last words, man. Encourage, unless we get a question.
Yeah, everyone has
yours,
the ability. Yeah, everyone has the ability. gotta have faith that you can do it. It's interesting. Keep watching videos, keep watching Santos's videos over and over again. Watch his videos, watch positive videos. Self-empowering videos. Stay away from the trash. Stay away from the news. Stay away from negative stuff. And work on those positive affirmations. Um, you know, the gold is inside you, and you can really make positive change. It takes time, but you can do it. And once you taste a little bit of it, you'll be hungry for more.
Yeah, be like, next thing you know, you're like this, man. Mm-hmm. So all right, well, I'm gonna give one more shout out here. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Jim. I want to thank Jim from Tucson. Hopefully, get a chance to visit Umoto motorized bikes, or reach out to Jim. You can always reach out to Jim through me too if you need to. Jim West, thank you for being here. Laura Nimsy Lot, what a cool name, Nimsy Lot. And let me see who else was here. Mike, my cool one. There's Laura. There's who else was here? There's a few other people. Paul. Sylvie Emery. Casino is an illusion. You have to run away. I want to thank you for being here. Who else? Let's see, make sure that I get all my guests. Jay Stan. There we go. Jim, want to thank you for the donation. Make sure that. And that's it. Yeah. Oh, Wilson was here. Wilson, every time that I hear that name, it reminds me of Forrest Gump. Not Forrest Gump, but
Castaway.
When he was on the island, Castaway. Yeah, remember? Boy, he had that handprint full of blood on that Wilson ball, and I thought that was the coolest thing, man. All right, and then there's Nick. Thank you. By the way, we did get the we finally got Angel Marmo. We finally got our trifolds. These are going in casinos. We're trying to put them. We did get them in some casinos already, so that's what we're doing. And I want to thank Nick all the way from Chicago for his support and his contributions to the mission. So, and if you want to give some of these out, let me know. I'll get some out to you some way, and you can hand them out in your areas wherever you are around the world. It doesn't matter because this is international, which is cool. I'm international. I like that. All right. Well, Jim, there we go. Castaway. We are one more last call to the last question. And thank you, Jim, for being here with us.
Thank you, Santos.
I know you grew tonight some more, man.
Oh, yeah. Every day. Yeah, that's right. Coming over to this station. Absolutely. How can you not?
It's all about faith. Oh, we got somebody else here. Did you have a question? Mauricio, he just popped in. Mauricio, do you have a question today for Jim or myself? We're getting ready to stop here. This program usually goes about 30, 45 minutes. But we're still here. Let me see. What is it? Need someone in Vegas to drop those in the strip. You have 1,000 new people. Hey, I need help, you guys. I need subscribers. Help me get some subscribers. Share the videos. You can share my videos on other gambling sites. Help out the mission. Support this mission. This is big. I believe we're helping a lot of people in different areas. So you're going to feel good and you're going to get a blessing for helping out, my friend. I truly believe that. When you give, it has a way of coming back to you. All right. All right, my friends. One last call. One last question. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, we got a question here. All right. Let's see. I'm having a problem with poker. My bankroll is gone and I can't stop playing. What do you think, Jim?
Questions like why do you play? Why do you play? Is it you need money? Is it your people that you're hanging around with? It's a good question. It's like why do you play? It doesn't seem like this poker is doing you much good because it's like causing you to lose a lot of money. Why do you play there, Mauricio? You know, um, is it for the thrill? Are you living a boring life maybe to yourself? I don't know. I mean, ask yourself these kinds of questions. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Really be honest with yourself. I think you'll be able to help find a solution.
Yeah, that's the key, is asking
Because of the
yourself the
money,
right questions.
right? Yeah, I like to do this. I like to just imagine. Like you talk about, Santos. Use your imagination to freaking visualize the horrors, the bad feelings. It's like I just lost $2,000 and I have a mortgage payment to pay. I don't have any money for groceries. What am I going to do? You can imagine that kind of stuff. It doesn't even have to, be real, but you can just put yourself there and think about how awful that feeling is. And if you choose that path of playing that poker, and you lose that money, you're going to be in that spot. You can also think about, the good stuff, what can you do with that money, right? So I encourage, like you, Santos, really focus on expanding your imagination to help yourself, to help put yourself in the best possible position where you can avoid the bad stuff, the negative stuff, those traps. It's like, what's going to happen to me? It's like having all that money gone. I can't pay the bills. Debtor's going to be coming for me. I'm going to lose the house. How does that feel? So what about my family? What about my loved ones? What are they going to think? I can imagine not good. Imagine the feelings too. I mean, imagine the feelings. Just visualize yourself. Put yourself there. I mean, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And man, that's powerful, Santos. That's powerful. To put yourself in that state. You keep on talking about state, that state of mind, right? You have that power to choose what state that you want to be in.
Yeah, exactly. I learned this early on, but I didn't know it. I learned this when I was 18 years of age, the power of the mind. And the reason why I know this is, but I was ignorant of it. When I went through boot camp, there might be a veteran here or two, I'm not sure. But when I went through boot camp, I went through 14 weeks. I went through 14 weeks of an intense training. And I came from, I mean, what happened to me, in order for me to be placed as an engineer on a carrier, I had to go through some major changes inside my head. And they did it in 14 weeks in boot camp. So was I amazed by all of that? I wasn't amazed, because I really didn't understand anything about the subconscious, your conscious mind. They didn't teach us any of that in the Navy. They didn't teach us anything about the inner journey and looking inside. They taught us about values and core principles and history. But it wasn't up until a couple of years ago that I began to understand this thing about, the power of the human mind. We're let me share this. We are dealing with something. The human mind is something that is beyond our understanding. Doctors, we can learn about a lot of things, the liver and the kidneys and all these things, but when it comes to the brain, they can only know so much. The brain is basically a storehouse of untapped ability. And when you recognize that, I know that this is going to go right over a lot of people's heads. I know this, but I'm going to say it anyways. When you begin to realize what you have, you will become a different person. You will change. You will change. You will not be the same. When you begin to understand that concept that I just shared with you, there's no way you can begin. If you understand it, there's no way that you can be the same, because you'll begin to work on that inner journey. Anyways, I'm done, Jim. I can keep going on here, but we've already gone past the hour. We're going to close the program down. As I mentioned, we're going to be here again on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Meet us here. Listen, if you're struggling with life, if you're struggling with your job, if you're struggling with your whatever, come out, bring a pen. Remember, bring a blue pen and some white paper so you can take some notes. And then you can read the notes and go over and practice and learn. All right, my friends, that's all I have. Jim, thank you. We're gonna close the program down, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, Santos.
All right, my friends. Stay stronger, and remember, we're doing it. You can do it too. Peace through strength.